Today we're going to attempt to take this little Esbit tablet burning stove and turn it into a wood burning stove. So if you're like me, you love things that are nice and light and serve a purpose, they're compact, they work really well. And these Esbit stoves are pretty awesome for what they do. Problem is, you got to carry fuel for them. And like with most things, fuel runs out. This is one of these trioxane military tablets, but you can buy them in the store, the little Esbit tablets. And, it lends itself to be a pretty neat stove, and even, bigger or smaller items can be cooked on it. But again, once you run out of that, if you try to put wood in here and cook on it, it's probably not going to work too well. And you can't do it this way because you'll need the air to get in there. So what I've done is I did a little searching online and found people actually using these as wood stoves. And I thought I'd bring it to you guys because I think it's a really handy, cool little mod for this stove that allows you to kind of expand its usefulness. So, okay, you're out of that. No more of that. So, basically it works like this. You get, I use the inside of a chicken can, but you can use any kind of aluminum, metal, whatever you got. And you're going to build stands on either side here. This one goes down here, okay? That just fits on. I just bent it on my in my vise. I just put it in there and bent it to the shape I wanted. And this little piece goes right here. So this way, you have a place to feed your fire. It's a little twig stove, really. And you have a nice stand for any of your pots or cups or whatever else you're going to put on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this outside. We're going to boil this. We're going to make some instant coffee with it because, heck, I'm filming this in the morning and I could use some more coffee. And we'll be right back when I get all that set up. So I got it out here. It's all set up. I'm going to use my favorite fire starter, dryer lint. Put a little of that there. And I got some twigs and stuff chopped up here. I just want to get it started, so I'm going to use smaller pieces, thinner pieces there. And then we can kind of feed it once it gets going. Alright, while that's going, while that's started up, I'm going to fill up my cup here. If you guys have seen this before, about 3 years ago I did a video on doing camo with sponges, and that's how this is done. This is just a water bottle I got for 75 cents up at the dollar store, at the Goodwill. And fairly cheap way to camo up your gear. I just think this would be a really neat kind of secondary resource for people who might need a little bit of a wood fire. And of course there's no wind out here until I light this. And it kind of expands the use of this stove, so if you have one of these in your bug out bag or in your camping gear, you still have a use for it once you run out of fuel. So I'm going to let this fire up here, and I'm going to put my water on there. I'm going to see how long it takes to boil for my cup of coffee, and we'll be back when it's boiling. bubbles coming up, starting to boil. And this isn't a low maintenance stove. I mean, you have to feed this often because it's a twig stove. But that's pretty darn good for a pile of twigs. So I'm going to let it kind of burn itself out here. And I'm going to take this off. Move the stove back a little bit. Open up my coffee. Pour it in there with a pot this big, a cup this big. I usually put 2 of them in because I like my coffee strong anyway. And this is just that Taster's Choice instant stuff you can buy in the store. I'll stir it in, make a nice big mess. There we go. Now I'll put that in a different cup to drink it. But there you go, little tiny stove that runs on the little Esbit or trioxane tabs, and turned into a pretty effective wood burning stove, even if it's just for twigs and for practically nothing. I mean, you know, a little piece of aluminum, or like I did, the side of a chicken container, you know, a little chicken can. And as you can tell, it's getting windy out here, so I'm going to have to put that out. But that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it will make a little more efficient way to pack a wood-burning stove in your bug-out bags or your camping gear. And we will talk to you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and talk to you later.